Hello, my name is Exxabite, and today I've created the flashlight effect in vanilla Minecraft. And in order to activate it, we first need to apply the resource pack. So go to resource pack and activate the resource pack that it runs out of, right here, the test pack. And once the resource pack is active, we need to set the graphics quality to fabulous, and this will allow the shader to run. And once we come out of here, we'll see that the flashlight is active, and we can walk around and see what it looks like. All the stuff in the distance is very dark, and things up close are brighter, and you can see it fade off into the distance that way. And you mean at a large distance, it can be very difficult to see things. Anything outside of this range is pretty much invisible. And another interesting thing to note is that when we get very close to things, things start to take on a really bright look, which is pretty accurate to a flashlight. If you've ever held a flashlight up to something close, it can get really bright and uncomfortable to look at. So I kind of like that as well. And overall, I really like this effect. I think it does a good job of looking like a flashlight, like things fade off into the distance and are brighter closer up, and the fall off in brightness and all of that can be adjusted. But I think it looks a lot better than the previous common way of doing this, which would be to put a pumpkin on your head and then just retexture the pumpkin to look like a circle. So if I put this on put it on my head, then we'll see that I have this pumpkin shape. And through resource packs, this could be retextured to a circle, which gave a flashlight effect. But it still wasn't all that good because, you know, you can see everything, regardless of how distant it is, equally bright. And by swapping this out for an actual shader, as I've done here, looks much better than just using a pumpkin. And there is one major downside to this effect at the moment, which is not insurmountable, I just have yet to surmount it, is that because it's running as a shader, it can be difficult to turn on and off. And so currently I'm running this as a shader through the fabulous graphics, and I could probably switch it over to running off of whether or not a glowing entity is in your view, which would be easier to turn on and off from like a gameplay standpoint, but still wouldn't work because if the shader is turned off, then everything's bright, which isn't what you'd want as a flashlight. You want it to be everything dark, or then the flashlight is on. So what I currently have set up, if I turn it on real quick, is basically where I have the shader check for the color in the top corner right there. So if I go over to this big red tower right here and position it so that it's in the corner, then we should be able to get it to turn off like that. There we go. So now if I look away, it goes off. If I turn back, then we can see it again. This allows the flashlight to be turned on and off, but it's still not a good solution as I haven't found any good way of coloring that part of the screen in the way that I want to, like in order to have this work well for gameplay. So it's still, it works for turning it on and off, but it's not a good gameplay solution. So I guess I don't really plan on releasing it at the moment because it's still in development and not quite ready. If any of you know or have any ideas how this problem could be solved, let me know down in the comments. And overall, it's a really cool effect that I hope to get working as a gameplay mechanic. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more, then subscribe and click the bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye!